Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And man, am I excited about this episode. So excited to have Miss Amanda Box on with us, a great lady that is in her lane and doing some amazing things in her lane. And I'm so excited to share her journey, her story with you. So first, Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, let's go ahead and dive into it. Off air, we talked about, your journey, you being in your lane, you doing your thing. If you don't mind sharing with the audience, like, what is it that you do, and share a little bit about your journey so they have an idea of who you are and what you do.
Sure. My lane is communication. I call myself the communication evangelist because I've been helping people talk to each other my entire career. And sometimes that's in helping people with presentations or interviews to get that job. Certainly lots of conflict because we all need some coaching there. Leadership, team building, anything in that communication lane, I'm all in to try to help people make their lives a little bit better. I think what's especially relevant for this audience, because I know you have lots of coaches and educators and former athletes, is that I am a communication coach, but my husband is a baseball coach. So that really uniquely positions me to understand what it's like to be in a coaching family. So I especially love supporting coaches and athletes. So I started off as a young college professor, and now I'm just traveling from coast to coast, working with all kinds of organizations.
So cool. I
do. I do. And love it. Like I want my husband to be out there coaching because we need coaches desperately, and they're a unique and really driven group of individuals and professionals. And I love doing anything I can to help them outsmart any kind of conflict or anything else.
Let's go. Well, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Oh, wow. Chip, I struggle with that word proud, but if you'll allow me, I'm going to replace it with grateful.
Oh, I love that. That's good. and just so you know the context coming to you, when I say proud, like the things that you are, yes, definitely grateful for, because I'm not a pride guy. Right?
I know. It's just hard for me to even say because I didn't get anywhere by myself. But I think, outside these big foundation pieces of faith and family, which I'm incredibly grateful for, then I have to say my marriage, number one, we've been married 33 years and don't take that for granted. We're incredibly grateful for that time together. And then I already mentioned the second thing I'm really grateful for is this opportunity to help coaches and athletes outsmart that really draining conflict that often takes them out of coaching. And, all of a sudden they don't want to put up with all that. So they're selling insurance, and we need them on the court. We need them on the field. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. And then right now, I'm so grateful that I'm in the second half of my career. Started off as a young college professor, and now I'm just consulting full time. And it feels like I'm just picking up momentum. And I couldn't love that more. I could have never predicted that 20 years ago.
Yes. It's crazy too, just hearing you talk about that. Like people ask me about like the things that I'm doing too, kind of like you said. And like, I really feel like I hadn't even scratched the surface on any of the stuff, which really is exciting to me because it shows me that I have, I can still learn and grow, and there's lots to do. And so it's awesome to hear you say that too. Like I'm looking at you like, man, she's the expert.
Well,
You know.
because I've made all the mistakes in front of
Oh, there
large
you go.
groups of
There you
strangers.
go.
That could be one of the reasons I'm the
There
expert.
you go.
But I
There
mean,
you
for
go.
both of our careers, can't we say like this first 20 years really prepared us to say yes to the invitations that we're getting now?
So good. I love that. I like to say it like this: opportunities bring opportunities.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all that hard work allows us to say yes to what's coming up.
Yes. Well, just hearing you talk about your journey, the things that you're blessed to do in your lane, the things that you're proud, that you're grateful for.
Thank you.
The things that you're grateful for, I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's touch on success. What is your
Sure.
definition of success?
Well, I call myself the communication evangelist, but because I work for myself, I can promote myself. So I gave myself a promotion, and now I also call myself unleasher of the awesome. And so what I have really learned with working with professionals from all walks of life is that all the awesome is already in there.
Come on.
And so it's my job to help other people see that. And so when I can help them say it better, say it more clearly, say it more dynamically, say it maybe a little more diplomatically, then the world sees who you really are, Chip, and that's already awesome. So it's my job to help other people see that. And that's very skills based. I think one thing that's really misunderstood about communication is that you either have it or you don't. Well, as a former coach, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Communication is a learned physical skill, just like anything else. So that's my definition of success, is when I can unleash that awesome, then the world sees who you really are. You get that job, you work through that conflict, not perfectly, but you do it. And you nail that presentation, or you're great at your job with connecting with other people, and then your life has changed, Chip. I mean, you just think about how difficult all of those things that I just listed can be, and they all center around your skill as a communicator. That's a really long answer, but that's how I view it.
No, that's a really good answer. I think I think that's a really good answer. There's so many good nuggets that you dropped in that little piece. I love the fact of, and I'm of the same mold of thinking, like helping people to be aware of, you already have what you need in you.
You do.
Like you just have to realize that, and then use that to be a blessing to others.
And I'm not saying it's not, I mean, simple and easy are two different things.
Right.
But it is simple. And then we just get better. If you want to become a better communicator, you're going to.
No doubt.
And that affects everything else.
Oh no, without a shadow of a doubt, for sure.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is just kind of have a little fun and go off script.
Sure,
You okay with that? Okay. So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 phrases, and if you don't mind, just talk about what comes to mind or heart when you hear these phrases. You okay with that?
All right, sure.
All right. So the first phrase is quality relationships.
Yes. Well, that topic is so critical. And if you can connect with other people, then you're going to be okay, because you're listening, you're paying attention, you're looking at their nonverbal communication. When I'm helping people with a presentation or an interview and even a conflict, I'm saying things like this. Okay, stop trying to give me this perfect answer and just connect with the person in the room. So that switches from a performance kind of thing, or really self-focused on what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it, into how are you going to receive it? How are you receiving it? And am I paying attention to how you're taking that in? So everything is based upon relationships. And that starts with connection. I wish more people really understood that, because when I'm working with leaders, and I never worry about them knowing their information or anything like that. I'm like, are you talking to your people? Do you know them? You say, if you think you know what motivates them, prove it. Because I think you're guessing. And I want you to prove it. I'm not going to try to fix something that's not broken, but I don't want a lot of guesswork in there. I want you to connect and really get in there and see.
So good. All right. The next
If I'm just going to put you in my pocket because you just agree with everything I say, I'm just going to put you in my pocket.
No, what's crazy is like a lot of stuff that you're saying are things that I believe. Like I wholeheartedly believe in that. Like you talked about the connection piece. Like none of that other. I'm just saying like it is a coach. I'm gonna go coach on you here.
Go for it.
None of that other crap matters, right?
It matters, but none of it's gonna. Yeah, I mean,
important. You have to make the connection, and once you make the connection, everything else falls in line. When you make the effort to make the connection, because there's some deeper underlying things in making the effort to make the connection that shows first off that you care. It shows first off that it means something to you. It shows first off, I mean, you could just go down the rabbit hole of things that's important then, but it starts with making that connection and making the effort to make the connection.
It really does. And I think coaches understand that because they're just avid consumers of information. Yes, you have your X's and O's, but you understand that your players have to want to play for you, which means you're not supposed to be their best friend, but you do have to be somewhat likable, which again goes back to the connection. And so all great coaches that I know, they are just consuming that information. And that's why I like to be a great resource for them, because they don't get a lot of communication training. I think you go after the leadership and the motivation and the inspiration, and you're already experts in your field, so certainly you're going for those things. But it's this communication piece is a gap that I see, and one that I'm able to fill in a real practical way. So I love that I can give them a few things that are immediately going to make their lives better, easier, and less conflicted, because again, that's what's the training part of it.
No doubt. Well, I mean, that's the next phrase I was going to give you is quality communication.
Ooh, quality communication. Yes. One of my favorite stories is when Chuck and I were first married, we had one car. So we shuttled each other back and forth to graduate school. And he was very eager to tell me how to drive. And we lived 2 blocks from campus. And so it was this ridiculous thing. And hey, I spent a lot of time in the library, so I felt pretty competent to be able to find my way home in 2 blocks. And so after a few weeks, I got a little tired of that. And so it was on a Monday like this, and I had plotted all day. I'm going to pick him up from class. He's going to tell me, get in the right lane, get in the right lane. And so I knew he was going to do it. And so, I took the left. I stayed in the left lane longer, just to make sure he would say it. I knew he was going to. And he said, get in the right lane. And Chippa just started screaming at him, I know how to get home. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. Because what did I want to happen? I mean, the man has a room full of trophies. And of course, we were first married, so that was before all of that. But what did I think was going to happen? That he was going to grab my hand and say, oh, I'm so sorry that I treated you like that. I mean, no, he just started screaming back. And so we had this humongous screaming match in the car. And it ended about as soon as it began. But when you said quality communication, I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Did I mention I was working on my master's degree in communication when I did that? I mean, it was such poor judgment. Like, if we could just pause, okay, what do we want to accomplish here? connection? Am I being clear about what I am asking for? And if I'm not getting what I'm asking for, can I ask for that? I mean, I am beating that drum right now, Chip. Just ask for what you need. So that's just one disaster of a story where, I fell into that same trap too of being defensive and ridiculous and immature, and it blew up. We are still married, but it wasn't because of that conversation. Yeah.
That's good. I love that story. So I don't, and again, just like we said with the other answer, there's so many underlying things in there that can be unpacked. You kind of hit on some of those too, like the situation, like all of that stuff. But so the last one I'm going to give you, I'm going to warn you on this one that, hey, this is the good one right here. But then also, I'm going to pause a little bit, right?
Okay.
So the last one is legacy.
I love this question because we really do inherit our communication practices like we do our physical attributes. I often ask people, did you inherit your cursing style from your father and your silent treatment from your mother? Or maybe that was vice versa. Like, we're going to do what we know until it's too painful, or we just learn something else. So I definitely understand and know this, that we teach each other how to treat each other. By how I talk to you, I'm teaching you how I want to be addressed. And so many, it's not really rocket science right there, but it is a lot of self-management there, and some maturity and holding back and pausing. But the legacy that I want to leave is that you absolutely can do it. I mean, people are so resistant to being uncomfortable right now. And in conversation, they just go to their corners. And so it's easier to quit. It's easier to leave that conflict on the table and not deal with that because people can't or won't engage in this uncomfortable conversation, which actually creates what they're really afraid of: a broken relationship. Things are going to get worse. And so this legacy is really important. We're absolutely teaching everybody. And really, Chip, like, if we can't talk to each other, what do we think we can do? It's a really basic question. And is it comfortable? No, but it's very doable. And just like you're the power lifter, right? I mean, the more weight you lift, the more you can lift, and the more conflict you're able to get in there and just deal with, the less conflict you actually have. So it's the legacy is real, and we have to do better. I'm really convicted of that. See how evangelistic I am? I'm like, we have to do better. I'm getting louder. I'm getting more dynamic, with how I'm telling this, but it's really true because everything else depends on it. And I will just add this little tidbit too, like, even in conversation, it's been so great to connect with you today, but isn't it just this basic hospitality, human to human, that we're interested because you've got a cool story and I need to hear it? I mean, that's as basic as I get, but it's kind of a lovely thing, right? It's a lovely thing when we can just have a good conversation together. No matter if it's about where to eat or more in-depth things like we're talking about today, this ability to talk and ability to be curious and just find out what somebody else's experience is. It, to me, I'm all in, but it really truly is this beautiful thing.
Man, so good. Well, as we close, I'd love for you to get the opportunity to share with the audience where they can follow you and check you out and show you some love with all of the amazing things you have going on.
Sure. Box_Amanda on Twitter. That's where I connect with a lot of coaches. AmandaBox.org is my website. I'm really ridiculously easy to find. Box is spelled BOX. So just Google me, call me up. I have no boundaries. My phone is always in my hand, 601-896-4622 if you want to see what a client relationship would look like. But I'm just happy to support whomever needs a little communication coaching.
So good. Well, again, I just want to say thank you so much for coming through and dropping these gems on the Success Chronicles. Truly appreciate it. And I wish you continued success.
You too, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.